What's up, everybody? So I want to go over and react to this video clip here from Pat McAfee today with Aaron Rodgers on the Pat McAfee Show. It's a small clip titled Aaron Rodgers Addresses Reports of Drama and Issues in Packers Locker Room After Loss to Giants. I haven't actually yet watched the entire Aaron Rodgers interview with Pat McAfee, as I typically do every week. So I wanted to watch this with you guys, give my thoughts throughout. If you don't want to hear me give my thoughts throughout and you just want to hear him, I'll try to leave a link down below, but I want to play through this and sort of see what's going on here, and then I'll probably watch the full thing later today, but I thought this would be fun to watch this together. So here we go.
And do you hear the overreaction? For instance, there was some shit discourse in the locker room after the game. Both Schneidman with you talking about Jair Alexander's answer about manifestation and, if we lose next week, then we'll panic. And then Aaron Jones also saying, you give me and A.J. Dillon a couple shots from the 2-yard line, we feel like we're going to get in there. It's early in the season for this type of stuff to happen. Do you feel any of that? Do you hear about any of that? And is it getting blown out of proportion, you think, outside of the building like what we normally do, Aaron?
Yes, of course it is.
Okay, good. Happy to hear
Look,
that.
I love Jair. He's one of my all-time favorite teammates. He's a fantastic guy. I wasn't even referencing his comments. There was a comment made in the locker room, and anytime, I'm speaking in front of the guys after a game, or I'm at the podium, or I'm on this show, and same for everybody else. I do my weekly on Wednesday in front of the locker room. In the locker room, everybody else has their different times who are speakers. We are the mouthpieces to set the narrative for the locker room, and there's an important responsibility with that, because whatever I say or a coach says or a star player says is going to be echoed naturally throughout the locker room, because guys are going to repeat things that they hear, motifs, themes, whatever it might be.
Yeah, no, that makes sense from Rodgers. Whoever the leader is, however they carry themselves, whatever they say affects the entire team.
I really feel like it's important that we're speaking the right messages. So, again, I wasn't taking a shot at Jair at all. I love Ja, man. He's an incredible guy, and he's a guy who has got a beautiful spiritual path that he's on, and he's deeply thoughtful and insightful and meditative guy. And he knows the power of manifestation. So I think we just got to be careful with some of those conversations, because it becomes the narrative, positive or negative. So I was just trying to not rebuke anything, but just to refocus. Like, just remember how powerful our words are, with the ability to manifest our thoughts, and our thoughts become our reality. So as far as what Jonesy said, yeah, for sure, man. Look at the last play.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if you guys heard Jair after the game. What he said was basically, I'm not worried now, but if we lose to the Jets next game, then I'm going to be worried. And that's what Rodgers in the press conference after the game was discussing, saying he doesn't like that kind of talk about, losing future games, which I understand. You don't want to talk in that way. But at the same time, Jair just being honest probably about how he feels. And honestly, if we lost to the Jets, I will be a little worried, to be honest. But obviously, I'm not a player in the locker room. But let's hear what Rodgers says about Aaron Jones here.
They brought an empty pressure, but for whatever reason, they had a 3-man side on the left. Maybe if I hand the ball off to AJ, he scores. Obviously, if it's empty pressure, you're not really thinking hand the ball off. You're thinking take a shot. I had Allen on one side, Cobb basically on the other side, who were possibilities. Chose Allen. The guy, was perfect with his timing, getting his hands up. Maybe if I throw it to Cobb, might have a better chance, or maybe adjust the route to Allen. But that's that second-guessing stuff. And, we had a couple opportunities. We had opportunities earlier in the drive, I think, to score. And we were kind of milking the clock a little bit. Looking back, maybe try and get that thing in a few plays earlier might have been the way to go.
Got it.
Hey, how confident were you?
Yeah, and so also talking about that Aaron Jones comment, because I saw it going around Twitter. It was just like a short little interview. And the thing is, Aaron Jones was asked, do you think on 3rd and 2 and 4th and 2, at the end of that game against the Giants, would you and AJ have been able to get those 2 yards? So, of course, Aaron Jones says, of course, he believes they would have gotten those 2 yards. It's not like he just brought it up out of nowhere and was sitting there and saying, like, man, I could have ran that ball in. It was like he was asked about it, do you think you could have? Of course he's going to say yes. So I don't think there's any drama there about that. He was just being honest and saying, you'd expect any running back to say, hey, if they ask them, do you think you get 2 yards on a play? Of course they're going to say yes. So, yeah.
for you at the end, that last, like when you had a Hail Mary, I was thinking, hey, worst case scenario, you throw it in the end zone, penalty, you get a free play from the 1. When you're dropping back for that last play, are you thinking, all right, this is it. This is going to be a walk-off right here in London. It's awesome. And also, how you feeling? Because you ate a nice shot right there in that last one.
You were on to 30. That would have been a 70-plus yard huck. The load up that you had to have for the crow hop. I mean, this.
I give them credit. They didn't let you crow hop like you normally can. I give them a lot of credit.
Oh, I can't show this because I'll get copyrighted.
Right? Normally it's just 3 guys, everybody else dropping back. You got smoke there.
They're just showing Rodgers throw it. Okay.
That ball is going 5 yards deep in the end zone from there. And what was the pain on that? Sorry to
I mean that was about at the edge for sure. I've thrown some 70 before. That would have been on the edge. It was one of those where I felt good up until the moment of releasing that ball, that it would have been close for sure. And our guys are battling. It's tough. When you throw from the 40 or the 50, it's a lot different. The timing on it, you don't need 7-8 seconds. You need 3 or 4. And then to launch it high, it'll give you guys enough time to get in the end zone. When you're throwing from the 30, you need a good 7 or 8 seconds. So I was trying to dance around to get myself to a spot where I could, get the ball up. And there's one of those things where you get kind of rocked, and you kind of, after the fact, there's obvious disappointment that the game is over, and awareness of what's going on behind you. John Runyon picked the ball up and was running around.
He looked good.
Yeah.
Maybe get him the ball. He looks good.
Yeah, I watched. I was sitting next to John on the bus on the way back, and it's linemen don't have a lot of opportunities for that glory. For the glory of having the ball in their hands. I saw one in New England 2010. That was one of the greatest plays ever, and that guy turned that kickoff almost for a touchdown. AJ was there for that, but John was rewinding that back in a few times on his iPad, checking his form, maybe his ball security a little bit. So. Nice moment for John there. But I was taking kind of a record of where I was at, my body, shoulders okay, neck, okay, neck's all right, knees, okay, they're okay. My thumb is a little banged up. That's the only spot that's bothering me a little bit.
Bennett,
we got it still?
Hopefully it's okay. I'm guessing he's about to tell us if it's okay, because we don't need a thumb injury here. Hopefully he's fine.
Jerry says you got to be able to spin it. Dak's got to be able to spin it. Is that going to mess you up any moving forward?
You got the Bennett fracture, dude? Is everything okay?
I hope not. I hope not.
I think I'll be able to spin it. I think I'll feel better later in the week.
Whew. Okay.
And if he's not okay, we have Jordan Love, so we're fine.
Do that.
Could you throw how far can you throw left-handed, Aaron?
Oh, I can't throw it all left-handed. I hurt my arm in high school pitching. And so I spent the first month of kind of the summer not really throwing, letting my arm heal, and tried to throw left-handed and got really good. I could throw it 30 yards. And then I popped something on my shoulder, and I haven't been able to throw a ball, 15 yards with my left hand. So every now and then I throw, some laterals and stuff, or screen passes, pitches left. But overhand left, I can't do that.
Okay, Aaron, there was a moment, I think it was before the last play, where there's a timeout. It might have been the last play or the second to last play. I don't remember, because it was an early morning over here when we were watching it play, and there was a lot of other games that took place. Timeout, you go over to LaFleur. You and LaFleur are talking. It appears as if LaFleur says, you want to run that with a question mark. Is that a conversation that takes place before every play, before big plays? And what was said there, and what was ultimately the decision that was made there?
Yeah, I wanted to run this play that we've run in the past that I felt like was going to give all 3 of the guys on the one side a good chance to win. And they played it pretty good. Honestly, they had a lot of guys up near the line of scrimmage playing man on the backside, and it didn't quite shape out. Now, that being said, I was trying to fit the ball through that wall of arms there on the left side.
Yeah, it didn't work perfectly.
In my mind, the ball gets through. It could be a touchdown to Cobby there on the end break. It was tight coverage, but I felt good about the throw. Unfortunately, the ball got tipped way up in the air, and nobody caught it. But yeah, Matt had an idea about a play. I had an idea about a play. I liked both plays, and just basically said, hey, whatever one you think, and jogged back out there to kind of give some reminders to the guys, and they ended up calling on a play that I was leaning towards.
But yeah, it doesn't seem like there's much drama going on in Green Bay. Just some obviously a frustrating loss for the Packers to go there to London, lose like we did. It wasn't it wasn't the most exciting and fun way to start that Sunday morning. Yeah, definitely not great. But hopefully next week we'll come in and beat the Jets in Lambeau Field. Hopefully the Jets just put up 40-plus points. So we'll see what happens there come Sunday. But there are definitely lots of things to take away from this past game. The debate about the Packers defense when it comes to running the ball. Should the Packers run the ball more? Matt LaFleur talked a lot in the press conference yesterday about how he needs to make sure Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon get the ball more often, which makes sense considering they're probably the strong suit. The running game right now is a strong suit of this Packers offense overall. And with Aaron Jones averaging, 6.2 or 6.4 yards per carry, it definitely makes sense to get the ball in Aaron Jones' hands more, definitely. And I think, too, when we look at that 3rd and 2, that 4th and 2 that they just were discussing, as we already said, Aaron Jones was asked, do you think you could have gotten those 2 yards? He said yes. And from Matt LaFleur's press conference, it seemed that in that situation, because of the look the Giants gave the Packers, Aaron Rodgers decided to, he wanted to pass the ball just because it was like a, pretty heavy box. They decided to pass the ball, thought it would work. Obviously, it didn't work because in back-to-back plays, the ball gets basically deflected. The ball doesn't even get over the defensive lineman's arm. So that was a tough way to go out, but hopefully this next week things will clean up. That's my hope. That's what I hope happens. So thank you so much for watching. As always, if you want to see more Packers content, feel free to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.